question. What does it mean to live as Christ? Philippians 1 verse 21. Philippians 1 verse 21 says, "For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain." Most people focus on the second part of the verse, "to die is gain," and contemplate the joys of heaven. But we should not overlook what comes before. The importance of the phrase "to live as Christ" cannot be overstated. In all honesty, this phrase should be central to every Christian's life. In this statement, the Apostle Paul is saying that everything he has tried to be, everything he is, and everything he looked forward to being pointed to Christ. From the time of Paul's conversion until his martyrdom, every move he made was aimed at advancing the knowledge, gospel, and church of Christ. Paul's singular aim was to bring glory to Jesus. To live as Christ means that we proclaim the gospel of Christ. Paul preached in synagogues, he preached at riversides, he preached as a prisoner, he preached as an apostle, he preached as a tent maker. His message was constant, Jesus Christ and Him crucified. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 2. He brought the message of Christ's sacrifice to kings, soldiers, statesmen, priests, and philosophers, Jews and Gentiles, men and women. He would preach to literally anyone who would listen. To live as Christ means that we imitate the example of Christ. Everything that Jesus did and said, that's what Paul wanted to do and say. The church benefited from his godly example. Follow my example, as I follow the example of Christ. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 1. What would Jesus do? That's what we want to do. To live as Christ means that we pursue the knowledge of Christ. We want to know Christ better and better each day. Not just a set of facts about Christ, but Christ Himself. I want to know Christ, yes, to know the power of His resurrection and participation in His sufferings, becoming like Him in His death, and so, somehow, attaining to the resurrection from the dead. Philippians 3 verse 10 until 11. To live as Christ means that we are willing to give up anything that prevents us from having Christ. Paul's testimony in this regard: "Whatever were gains to me I now consider loss for the sake of Christ. What is more, I consider everything a loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whose sake I have lost all things. I consider them garbage, that I may gain Christ and be found in Him." Philippians 3 verse 7 until 9. We cling to the promise of our Lord in Mark 10 verse 29 until 30 that our sacrifices, for Jesus' sake, will be repaid 100-fold. To live as Christ means that Christ is our focus, our goal, and our chief desire. Christ is the center point of our mind, heart, body, and soul. Everything that we do for Christ's glory. As we run the race marked out for us, we lay aside the entangling sin and worldly distractions, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Hebrews 12 verse 1 until 2. He is our life. There are times when the Lord reveals to us things that are intended only for us. Nevertheless, in many cases He entrusts a testimony of the truth to those who will share it with others. This has been the case with every prophet since the days of Adam. Even more, the Lord expects the members of His church to open their mouths at all times, declaring His gospel with the sound of rejoicing, and do not forget to do good and to share this video. God bless you.